All right, let's do some recap. What is a WorldSpark? Concept, theme, image, or idea unique to your world, sufficient to define it as your intellectual property. Now let's also look at the case study real quick. Spice from Dune, probably the best that I've seen example of a WorldSpark. Here's some other ones. Hogwarts is a great option for Harry Potter, very definitive. Harry Potter in a way is too. The Scar, maybe the Scar is probably a really solid concept, marketable as well, memorable. The One Ring, or all the rings, etc., etc. Okay, what am I saying? Get to the point. Why did I write that? Okay, so the whole reason you're here. How do we find your WorldSpark? I have come up with a cool little worksheet that might help you do that. Okay, so I'm going to show you my WorldSpark worksheet. We're going to work through it, and hopefully you can help you do the same thing. Now, before we dive in, I would like to one more time humbly ask that we get a like, comment, and subscribe to tell YouTube that you guys are liking what you're seeing. Thank you. Okay, so let's break it down very simply. There are 3 steps to actually finding your WorldSpark. First step, experimentation. Really take some time to be in your world, to really feel out what it's like after doing a lot of your initial creation as well from the previous video about the pillars. Let's look at those as a good start. This is especially a good place to start when you're not really sure how to go about finding your WorldSpark through the experimentation phase. Here's some questions you could ask yourself about your world relating to each of the pillars. So for example, let's look at the geography pillar. What's the most striking natural feature of your world? Could, for example, be a desert where it rains glass. How about one for culture? What's a unique tradition or ritual to your culture and your story? And how does that potentially shape the society that they're in? An interesting concept example would be potentially a festival where all lies become truth. I don't know. Here's a question for history. What's a forgotten event that still haunts the present? Perhaps there was a war that erased all maps. What kind of complications does that provide? Or what kind of dust will that cause to settle into a WorldSpark? What about magic and technology? What's a rule or limitation that makes it unique? For example, let's say the magic of your world only works at night for whatever reason. Maybe it comes down to the money of your world. For example, you're looking at a desert world where water becomes the currency. So on and so forth. These are just some places that you can start and kind of continue to dive deeper and deeper and deeper in your experimentation phase. In the workbook, which I will kind of screen through with you as I'm talking, probably do some B-roll and stuff, you'll be able to kind of see some of the different questions and processes that might help move this along a bit for you. Okay, now we're going to look at the next step, identification. So now you've got a bunch of ideas that you've been working through that you can kind of start to look at how much they make sense to build up, refine, polish to make them into a WorldSpark, or you just have them there and you didn't even realize it. You just need to clear the dirt a little bit. Let's consider these guidelines as you look at this scale and things I'm about to show you. Originality. Does this feel new or unexpected? Emotional impact. Does it evoke wonder, fear, or curiosity? Thematic depth. Does it connect to your story's core message? Market appeal. How marketable it is. Is it something that readers in your genre will love? Memorability. How memorable it is. Will readers talk about it long after they finish the book? Feast your eyes. Let's see, where is it going to be? Over here? Look on the screen, please. I don't know where it is. So here's the scoring matrix that will help you to develop to see if these ideas really would qualify as a WorldSpark. This is really just a way to make sure you know what your WorldSpark is. Because by now, hopefully you've got a pretty good idea what your WorldSpark is going to really be. This will just be far more like putting a spotlight on it for you if you haven't quite gotten it up here yet. Now, finally, the last step, implementation. All right, now it's time to ask yourself this very important question. How does my story's WorldSpark affect the rest of my story or my world? Consider weaving that new WorldSpark you've either found or created into the setting, plot, and character of your story's fundamentals. To complete this step, the final step, implementation. If at any point you answered this question with, I don't know, then you got some work to do. Now, here is a bonus step for you. Haha, make it marketable. As you're going through both really all three of these steps, think about how this WorldSpark that you're developing or discovering will be marketable. That may not make a lot of sense right now, but when it comes time to try and find a way to make a living off of this, it'll be a lot easier if you have a very, very strong element that will help to sell the book. Now, if you're wanting to do this, which I hope you will, please go look in the video description for the link to my website where you can download my WorldSpark worksheet, and you can do this yourself. It'll be free. However, I do gently ask if you would donate a little bit if you feel like it is worth your value. That will help you do your thing in your story. Anything can help. And of course, if you aren't able to support right now, that's totally fine. It is still a free tool, a free thing I wanted to create, just as my books will be always free. Oh, did I not mention that? Thank you guys so much. If you guys want to see more world building ideas, which it's going to be pretty inevitable, that's what this channel's about, feel free to watch more videos coming out soon about some other cool topics that will help define your world. Now, go tell stories, you silly goose. Oh, and don't forget, there are no bad ideas, just unfinished ones. Take care.